You're listening to Hard in the Paint with your hosts, Kyle and Justin. A Clemson basketball podcast sponsored by the Fanboys. Let's go!
What is going on, everybody? Long time no see. It's been a minute. My name is Kyle.
I'm Justin.
And we are your hosts for Clemson's basketball podcast, Hard in the Paint. We are sponsored by Pepsi, Clemson Wine Bar, Arden's Burger and Grill, and Central and Upstate Physical Therapy in Anderson, Greenville Sports Media, and, of course, the Fanboys. My brother, it's been a hot minute. We wanted to wait a little while to get into this because, you know, we were going to be in the thick of the football season, but, you know, us Clemson fans are a little bit weary in this football season, are we not, brother?
Yeah.
Looking to bigger and brighter things in the basketball season. We're going to kick off starting about, you know, the ACC schedule reveal. I'm going to let Justin go over that. Go ahead, brother.
Well, first of all, it's great to finally have a full schedule. I mean, we finally get the full schedule. It makes it feel like, you know,
sure.
We're finally here. So with the ACC, obviously, we actually start early this year. We actually start December 3rd. I mean, when's the last time we've actually started in December with the ACC?
Yeah, that was very weird to see on the schedule, to see Pitt December the 3rd. That's a very odd scheduling, but hey, competition early. You love it.
And I mean, the other thing we could talk about looking down at the schedule, we start out top heavy in the ACC. So right away, we're going to see where we measure against the rest of the ACC. I mean, you got just to name a few, you got Clemson, Miami first game after Pitt. Then you got North Carolina, Clemson. And we played North Carolina twice this year. And I guess the ACC, and I mean, this may be a knock to NC State. They finally gave them a break, and we only play them once this year.
They needed it. We've been wearing out them poor little puppies for a while now. So, yeah. They needed a break from playing us in hoops. That's for sure.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously, you go to Cameron Indoor. And, I mean, that's a tough place to play. I mean, any place in the ACC is a tough place to play. I mean, even if you think about it, even the bottom half of the ACC is a tough place. I mean,
we found that out the hard way at Louisville last year.
Louisville, Boston College, you name them. Some of the key ones I want to touch on. I mean, obviously, when you look at the schedule, playing Pitt first game right off the bat in the ACC, that's a tough place to play anyways. I mean, if you think about last year, it came down to a last second shot to win that ball game against Pitt last year. So it's exciting to see where we are ACC wise at the start of the year.
I just wanted to say on that same topic with Pitt, just to touch on it. I mean, when you're looking at the schedule as a whole, knowing that we're going to go to Alabama to play at Tuscaloosa November the 28th, December the 3rd, we're going to turn around and play Pitt, and then December the 6th, we're going to have to turn around and play South Carolina. I mean, that's a fun little stretch of games that you're really going to figure out like who your team is. Not trying to get into our next topic, which of course is the schedule as a whole. But I mean, like, I just wanted to brush on those 3 games because it's pretty incredible. Like when you're going to be that early in the season and you're going to figure out what you have as a bunch. So,
yeah. And I mean, going into that next topic, I mean, the schedule as a whole is packed.
Yeah.
To say the least. I mean, you can even go farther and you got TCU in Toronto, which is exciting. You get to see Clemson play in Canada. If there's any fans that live in Canada that are listening to Clemson basketball, you get to have a chance to go see them play in Ontario. And then you wind it up before you play two cupcake teams before you start your gauntlet of the ACC with Memphis 3 games before you play Miami. So, I mean, you're going to see where you're at right away.
Yeah, exactly. And going over, the schedule as a whole, like these stretch of games that Justin's talking about in specific is Tuesday, November the 28th, we play in Tuscaloosa. Sunday, we play in Pittsburgh. Then Wednesday, we play in Little John versus South Carolina. Then we go to Ontario, Saturday, December the 9th. Then we turn around Saturday, December the 16th, the following week, and play Memphis. Like that stretch of games, you're going to find out a lot about this team, even right before we get into ACC play, like Justin was saying. And I find that to be, incredibly competitive on the part of the scheduling crew. And that, like, I really like that we can really have some good quad wins early if we can get the job done in those games. Because, I mean, we ran into that problem last year. It was like our wins we had was our wins we had, but we really didn't have anything to sit there and show muscle to a lot of the times in the out of conference. And some of our in conference games even were more or less teams that were losing to the same caliber team. NC State being one of those. We had like losses. So, I really think this schedule as a whole is very top heavy, but it's competitive, and that's what you want. I mean, you want to compete, you want to find out what you're made of pretty early. The bottom half of the schedule, which we're talking about, when I'm looking into it, I mean, you got, when you're getting towards the end here, NC State, February the 17th, Georgia Tech, February the 21st, Florida State, the 24th. We play Pitt again on the 27th. March, we play Notre Dame, Syracuse, and we end the season with Wake Forest. So, I mean, you're not playing your North Carolinas. You're not playing your Dukes. You're not playing Miami's like really, really late in the season. We don't know what Pitt's going to be made of essentially this year. I hope they're as competitive as they were last year because, I mean, that was a fun game for us down there. I remember watching that game. So I'm incredibly excited about this year and the competitive atmosphere that we kind of built with the schedule. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, going into the whole thing about the ACC, when you have a player in PJ Hall, who's preseason all ACC team, and it's only the second one since 2020 with Amir Sims. That's crazy to see too, that we've had 2 people be preseason all ACC teams. It's got to get you excited about the ACC season and this season as a whole. I'm excited to see what Brad Burnell does, to be perfectly honest. And like you said, we get that measuring stick right away with the 2 ACC teams we play. I mean, granted, we don't know what Pitt has, but we know what Miami has. Miami, coming off of a Final Four exit, they still have Isaiah Wong, who's probably one of the most exciting players to watch in college basketball right now, in my honest opinion. We get to see that measuring stick. And, I mean, you can see that Brad Burnell going to get 2 players that have already played in the ACC, and Clark and Gerard, knows that we got to have that ACC talent early if we're going to play this gauntlet of an ACC, which is a gauntlet.
Yeah. And I mean, I like some of the smaller guys that we brought in as well. Like, I mean, we touched on them in the first episode. I'm very impressed so far with what I've heard about Baz Latte. Don't know how much time he's going to get, but I'm still excited about him. Somebody that can be able to come off the bench, give you a little spark.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so definitely. I mean, hey, we'll take it. That's for sure. But I really think it's more or less exciting what we're doing here. We're getting more and more competitive every single year, and I'm hoping that we can continue to make leaps and bounds Wanted to touch on something that has caught a little bit of wave of news here lately, man, and that's the fact that our recruiting for Clemson basketball has sent on liftoff. Like we are what, the number 11 class in the nation now.
Yeah, when's the last time you seen us top 10 in basketball for
Yeah.
anything, honestly?
Yeah. Currently, composite rating is going to be 13. We just recently got Ace Buckner. That is going to be a nice little player. Dale Jones is another nice guy that we had committed to us literally 4 days ago. So,
did you see that he's like our 5th best player we've recruited in Clemson history?
Yeah. So
I saw that and I was like, wow. Brad Burnell is trying to bring the fire and just, I mean, it's like that meme says, hold up, let him cook.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm very happy with what Brad's done with the transfer portal. I'm extremely happy what he's doing, catching ground on recruiting pretty early as well. I mean, we've got 3 guys in the class already, and all of them seem to be good talents. I mean, we're getting guard play, which is something I don't want to say we've lacked, but I guess on the back end we've lacked the youth. A lot of the times our guards are more older players, so to be able to get guys to come in there early is going to be important. I think, especially when you're going to be losing guys like Gerard and co here soon. I mean, they're not going to play basketball forever, unfortunately. But yeah, man, it's been exciting. We got a fun little road ahead of us. Expect to hear a lot more from us, y'all. We're going to be coming in episodes pretty frequently. We're going to cover the women's team here this weekend. It'll be shortly after we release this episode. But for Hard in the Paint, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Justin.
We'll catch you on the next one, y'all.
Later, guys.